I genuinely think this might be the worst commander I've ever built. So let me try and explain my thought process for this commander. I've spent about 2 to 3 hours playtesting this deck alone in so many iterations. It's actually been driving me mad, and I really want to swear really loudly on a side of a mountain because I honestly don't know what the actual F they were thinking when they were designing this card. It looks awesome, the artwork, but honestly, I've played Magic for a very freaking long time, and I have never seen such an unusual combination of synergy ever. Honestly, this is going to be a rant, to be honest. I'm very angry because it's led me down so many pitfalls and traps, and it's actually absorbed so many of my wildcards. Just trying to come up with something that works, and honestly, I honestly think Pia Nalaar, this is the biggest piece of shit commander I've. It's so frustrating. I spent a mythic on it because I thought it would be cool to see an actual paper commander card in Arena. No, I was wrong. Let this be a video to ward you off making this because it is just so stupid. So the stats are already pretty shit. 3 mana, 2/4. Whenever one or more artifacts, creatures you control, deal damage to a player, get 2 energy. So that is the alluring part. Getting the energy is nice. Although it says 1 or more, which is always one of these things I've argued about on the channel. Just let me have 1 energy per attacking creature, or just who gives a crap, right? That when you put 1 or more on this, you are severely hindering the amount of energy. Now, I know that energy is scary, but 1v1 Arena is so aggressive that this card cannot keep up. So just with those stats alone, it's not doing anything. Then, at the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1 or more energy if you do create an excess colorless vehicle named bloody blah, with flying and crew 2, where X is the amount of energy spent this way. So this seems like the interesting part of the card. You're making, at least most turns, you're trying to make a 2/2 flying crew for crew 2. But that is worse than a vanilla 2/2. And I think a lot of other cards would legitimately just make that. So you're making things worse than a vanilla 2/2. You have to crew it, it's got flying. So what direction do you actually go in? So my initial build was loads of small, weak, crappy, shitty. Oh my god, I've never wanted to swear so much. Oh, it's so annoying. Crappy little artifacts that come down and then smack your opponent, and then you get some energy. Bear in mind, you only get 2 energy a turn unless otherwise stated through modifiers. There are ways to modify, like if you get 1 energy, you get 1 more instead, but we'll come back to that. So you're going to get energy, but then with all this energy, you're going to make vehicles. And then the vehicles need to be crewed in order to attack. Now, you might know this, or you might know this, but vehicles are probably some of the worst cards in Magic the Gathering. Commander format, 1v1 100 card format. And you know what? It really hurts me to say that because I've always been a fan of cool looking vehicles and robots and spaceships and mechs, but they just are so crap. And this is why you never see vehicles and mech builds, because they're pure awfulness. There's just nowhere near enough support, even though we've just literally had a deck, a set, Aetherdrift, that supports vehicles, mounts, crewing. It just doesn't work, guys. And you know what? There's always naysayers, but trust me, I'm a veteran Magic player. I've played a long time, and these abilities, they just do not go together. There is no reason for me to make a commander and suffer this much when editing. Normally, when I make a commander, it doesn't take too long to get something going, but yeah, this just felt absolutely impossible. So I will go through the video and show you some games now. I might win, I might not win, but I've lost every single game in about 2 3 hours, which, as you know, is incredibly demoralizing. I pride myself on being able to break metas and try and make things work. And on paper, this deck looks solid. And you know what? This is the cop-out list. This list I've made that's still lost is the boring list. It's the list which has the least kind of juiciness. There used to be a lot more Thopters, there used to be a lot more small aggro creatures, but then you have to kind of increase the number of powerful things that you see all the time. River's Rebuke, you know, and other things. Roaming Throne. There used to be Panharmonicon in the deck, but even that wasn't very good with a lot of the ETBs. You know, you can make it a bit, but there's so many factors going wrong here. It's also really, really difficult for some reason in this game to filter cards by artifact creatures. So look, watch this filter. So I'm going to put on artifact and creature. So logic dictates that this filter now only puts on creatures that are artifacts, right? Let's have a look. So some of the first things that pop up are artifacts that then have the word creature on them. So I actually think this filter is completely broken because this filter is a type filter. It is not an ability filter. And it doesn't stop there. There's things like this. This is a creature, not an artifact creature, and doesn't actually mention the word artifact anywhere. So I don't know what the actual shit is wrong with this filter, but it just makes it an absolute nightmare to try and find coloured artifact creatures to put in the deck. Now, yes, there are complex filters you can use if you hover over this. It tells you all this, but I can't be bothered to learn that. I've not got time to figure out all the stuff to learn that. Anyway, my point is, it's a very difficult deck to make to start with. It's a very difficult deck to synergize with. It's just a hopeless combination of cards. So I really feel sorry for people who bought this on paper. I mean, you know what? I really want to say I could be wrong, but I know I'm not because it's so painful. But yes, regardless, I still kind of want to show you the thought process when I'm playing the games and see how it goes. There's a few cool things you can do. Making artifacts, I don't know. We'll see. So sorry for the long intro rant. I just had to get off my chest. It's painful being a content creator because I want to bring you new, unique things. But then, to be fair, it's not very common that I get this furious with one of what's his designs. This is a design issue I have, nothing to do with the game really. Saying that, everyone I faced did obviously use tier 1 to god tier. Absolute effing shittery I have to face every day to bring interesting, gameplay content, and it is an absolute miserable existence sometimes doing videos with badly designed cards and formats. But yes, most of the time I do enjoy. But yeah, I'm so sorry. This card, and you know what, there might be some vehement defenders of Pia Nalaar. Well, good for you. You know what, if you enjoy it, bloody, I'm happy for you. I couldn't, and I don't think anything's worth that much developing research and R&D to make a deck that good. Deck should at least feel fun, and then you refine it. This doesn't feel fun, and I've refined it after hours and hours. It just ain't working. But anyway, let's see if I can win a game. It's probably going to be 3 or 4 losses. I'm so sorry. But yeah, if you want to support the channel, because I'm going absolutely insane. I've got 600 videos odd of fun Commander videos most of the time. So like, subscribe, share, put the bell notification on. And if you want to donate to the channel, that really helps as well, because I've put so much time into these videos. This is a Sunday night. I spent 3 to 4 hours developing this deck. It just doesn't work. This is iteration like 4 or 5. So have mercy on my soul. Help me out by donating. It's the only solace I have. So let's see what happens in the gameplay videos. Right, let's see how this goes. Another odd thing I've noticed with this deck is it's very, very reluctant to give me an elf on turn 1. I don't know what it is. It could just be completely anecdotal, but yeah. My opponents, of course, they will get one, but myself, no. I must not get turn 1 elf or any fast starts. It could just be that the combination of cards I've used just do not operate very well together, but I don't know, I'd like to think that you can use cheap small things like Hangabout Walker and Gleaming Gear Drake together to make an interesting kind of build, but it just feels like, we've said it millions of times, no matter what we use, the opponent will always use known quantities, and it's a shame because it does mean that we don't get to have as much fun a lot of the time. But look at the play patterns here. It is interesting when it works, but then it always looks like this. Like, we have a decent start, got a small artifact creature, Pia Nalaar, and then a flying thing, and then they think, So in theory, let's say you can get 3, 4, 5 of these ether jets, right? It's going to be very difficult to crew them anyway, just because you're not going to have the creatures to actually crew them to start with. But yeah, let's get to the wild. So we do need some lands, would be nice. This is going to be annoying as well. Crew 2 is pretty annoying. So now they've already got like this insane defense creature that we can't actually get through, and that is definitely an issue. Soul Tile is always going to be an issue. So if this hits us, we lose half our life, which is really quite bad. Really, really bad. So this Decimate is going to... We're going to have to get something good. We missed a land drop as well. Deathrite Shaman. Losing half our life is pretty bad. Oh, they've got a Rex Sage, so they can blow up any of our artifacts. Then that's another thing as well. Just, do you see what I mean? It doesn't take much to just disassemble our deck, and that is a shame. But And they're not going to attack. Okay, we get a land that comes in tapped. That is pretty irritating. Actually, no, we don't want to do that, do we? No, okay. Pay 1 equals 2. And this is the other thing, right? So I could just crew this flying vehicle, swing over the top, get 2 energy, and then, you know, create another one. But then it's just another vehicle that I cannot attack or block with because I don't have enough ground troops to do so. Oh my god, and now they've got trample on top of something. So trample, death touch, and every time it hits us half our life. So this is insanity already. So there's no point blocking because when something has death touch trample, it will do 1 damage to our guy and then the rest will go over the top and then we half our life. Half the life rounded up. So yeah, we're just going to die very, very quickly here. What if we became a copy of that? So we have a copy of a stack of mutate. That's interesting, isn't it? I still don't really want to attack because I don't feel very safe. Well, we'll see what happens. So yeah, cloning mutate stacks is always quite interesting. This is definitely the most interesting thing that's going to happen in this game. If they have any removal. This then comes back as a surgical metamorph again. That's weird. Although this isn't artifact version, so if they have any artifact removal, if they've got casualties of war, we're just dead. And this is what I mean. They're going to use casualties of war now. Or pest infestation. I guess we'll crew with that. Man, that really sucks. So yeah, most times you play games, somebody will normally have like maybe 1 artifact removal or something. But yeah, the fact it's it comes back in again, but it is tapped. Yeah, the fact they've had 2 or 3 removal in a row for our stuff feels pretty bad. So there's no real point in blocking, is there? Because they've got the death touch trample, so they'll take us to 3, then take us to 1, I think. So yeah, we're down to 1. And we die because they exile that from our graveyard with Death Ray Shaman. They won that game without losing any life from us, really. So that just goes to show just how incredible... I don't know what to say. Some games are just like this, you know. It's incredibly biased towards us, and with just a casual commander like this, it feels pretty brutal, to be honest. Right, okay, so we're facing another very strong commander who's new, but it's proven to be very, very powerful. I just want to quickly discuss something else as well whilst I have the chance. When you make a commander like Pia Nalaar, it's very disingenuous to the color pie because although blue-red is spells matter and artifacts matter duet of colors, I do feel as though when you add green, it doesn't necessarily forgive the fact that you're now making this completely artifact related. And I think it is a bit of a shame, mostly because then you have to put loads of support into a Teamer deck just in order for it to be a working deck. But most people that have a Teamer color deck already probably feel a bit alienated. Like I myself certainly do feel a bit alienated just because I don't know what to do. Just go for Revels. Probably a bad idea, but the Soulseer can't kill this because this is going to give it protection. But yeah, so essentially what I'm saying is the original Teamer color palette doesn't really support artifacts. I mean, slowly they're adding red, green, and blue-red stuff into the artifact color palette. But yeah, when you go Teamer artifacts, I feel like it's a bit disingenuous to the people that like those colors. And I know they're trying to branch out and trying to make these colors do different things, but in doing so, you're diluting the color pie. If you make every color combination do everything, then I just feel as though the game loses its identity. And this is the same issue I have with 5 color decks and 0 color decks. Is that if you make 5 color do everything, then suddenly it feels like, I don't know, what's the point of having the other colors? So they've got 2 mana up, and it's a bit weird what they've done here. So non-creature. Yeah, okay, fine. They've got 2 mana up as well. Why have they got 2 mana up? That is so sus. I'm actually going to pass the turn to them because there's definitely something weird going on here. They wouldn't just give that protection for 1 and then pass. Far too sus. So I'm going to use a Soul Seer on the Skrelv. Loses indestructible. Okay. Yeah, kind of forgot what I was saying now. Try and kill this. Interesting. And they don't want the lizard blades to exist. And they didn't attack either. Alright, let's go for Pia Nalaar. They clearly have a counterspell. It's so obvious. It's shining like a freaking torch in my freaking face. Just get it out of your system, you mana drain. It's really painful being right. This deck is really frustrating. Okay, we get a Ragavan. The frustrating part is you can tell. I don't want to say stuff like this because obviously I don't know 100%, but it feels very, very newbie for someone to get a mana drain and like they're trembling with excitement because they know that they're so desperate to cast it in order to get that boost. And I do get it to some extent, but it does warp the game in such a crazy way that it shapes how people play tremendously, and so much so that I can then know exactly what they're going to do, right? So, and again, they've still got 2 mana up. Block, and then just get rid of this stupid thing. But yeah, mana drain is such a blight on the format. It really is. They've got 2 mana up again. Do they have another counter? Most probably, because most blue-white players can't think of anything else. What is it going to be? Negate, reprieve. Okay. Jesus Christ, man. You're also running an artifact deck. Why are you just focusing on stopping me do my thing? Just do the fun thing that you want to do yourself. You know, it's just... This game is such a piss take sometimes, and it is down to a lot of the players. Yeah, it's a shame. It just stops us being able to do fun stuff. So now we're not going to be able to stop the Mendicant Core because they've stopped pretty much a lot of the stuff we were trying to do. So we can go for Chandra and then kill the Mendicant Core. But then in their turn, they'll play the Mendicant Core, attack with the Solemn, and then they'll be at maximum speed, which means they're now paying 1 extra in order to clone artifacts. Maybe that is just what we have to do. And I suppose the Solemn Simulacrum might be pulled into trying to kill the Chandra. Yeah. Basically, in short, trying to use fun stuff like this it's compounded even further by people who are obsessed with playing permission decks, because it just means that we can't even resolve our fun stuff. And yeah, so they're going to go for Chandra, which I guess means that doesn't go up. Missed a land drop again, which really sucks. How do we get around anything? Like we're just going to take an absolute pummeling. They're probably going to go for an extra turn spell next turn. We can draw a card and ramp. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's just demoralizing when you're trying to do something and nothing can be done. Okay. So they're basically a free reign to go absolutely cuckoo here. Any big artifact copied with 1 mana, we'll probably just end up quitting. I'll take Matter Weaver. So I guess if we get some kind of board wipey thing, but they've got 4 mana up again. Which means they can, you know... So play this. Is it going to get countered? Of course it is. Absolute piece of shit. Oh, fantastic. And we get something that's not really going to help. Cool. I'll just quit there. Yeah. So another permission-based deck. So yeah, still, total win count for this deck, 0. So this is a potentially pretty strong hand. But you know what? I've said that a lot. And it doesn't mean shizzle and nizzle. Omnath, if you've not seen Ominous Lockbox, by the way, this is a pretty crazy card. I'll show you in a sec what it does. Let's quickly just get a Surveil land out here. Please be land on top. No. Yeah, so Ominous Lockbox. When it enters, secretly choose a number between 1 and 20. When an opponent casts a spell with a mana value equal to that number, sacrifice this and you get basically a clone of whatever they just played. Pretty damn good, especially against counter spells. You name 3. There's a lot of counter spells that do count for 3, but then I guess 1 and 2 these days. Tangled Florahedron. We got a land. So I think we probably just focus on killing this. Even though it would be quite interesting to just have played the lockbox there, name 4. So we'd get an Omnath, which would then kill that, I guess. But then we are slowing them down as well, so that's exactly what we want to do. Provisioner. Ugh. Let's kill that. 100%. 2 damage. Treasure. Okay, well. We're keeping things alive. And this is the sad fact as well of Brawl. This whole video is just sad facts. Removal is king. But at least with removal, it feels like the opponent's stuff had a chance, or our stuff had a chance. When it's just counters, it feels really miserable, doesn't it? So they've got Omnath. We can kill it with the Obliterating Bolt. So yeah, we have used a hell of a lot of removal, but it doesn't mean we're going to win. It just means we can survive a little bit longer. And we're not actually... Here's the thing, we're using so much removal, we're not doing the thing we want to do. By any means. Let's go for the lockbox, and we'll secretly name 4 again, because there is inevitability with the number 4, because the commander is 4 mana, even though it says 6. Don't be don't be confused by the extra mana cost. So it says 6, but the CMC is still 4, plus 2 command attacks. The 1 ring, so we also get the 1 ring. That is weird. That's probably the best hit we will ever get. And I don't play the 1 ring because it increases the power weighting of the deck, but I'm starting to think maybe I just should, because everyone else is, you know. Well, this is going to be an interesting game, isn't it? 2 players with a 1 ring, okay. We've got Unstoppable Plan as well, which works pretty damn nicely with the 1 ring. But it does mean we take a hell of a lot of damage. Oh well. We're going to lose anyway. Metamorph. Plan. Ah! We might as well lose even more life to the 1 ring, eh? Such an absurdly powerful card. I can't believe this card is a thing. I actually cannot believe this card as well. And to think this is the nerf version, the real paper version, it's just tap to put Burning Counter and draw. It's really quite absurd. And the fact that Unstoppable Plan combined with Paradox Engine... this is basically Paradox Engine, by the way. Or Wilderness Reclamation in blue, I guess. How are we going to win this? We don't have anything to synergize with Pia Nalaar. I honestly don't know. It's a very weird game. Man, the 1 ring is just going to kill us, isn't it? It's just going to kill us. I guess there is a slow downside. But whenever the opponent uses it, I feel as though... So the one game we win is the one game where we accidentally copy the One Ring from our opponent and then worry about losing because of the damage we're going to take. So why... You might as well just put One Ring in your deck, guys. Like, I don't know if you remember a while back. Most of you probably remember, but yeah, the deck weighting scandal. Every card's weighted a certain amount, right? The One Ring I excluded from all my decks because the weighting of it was so high, it meant that you'd face only other people using high deck weighting. But my deck weighting currently is low, and I'm still facing the One Ring, which just begs the question, why do I care about the deck weighting? I just put whatever I want in. But then everything, the issue that everything just evolves into Paradox Engine, One Ring, Rusko. So I feel like there definitely is a sweet spot where you're not facing Ruskos and Teferi here of Dominaria and Golos, and that is definitely where I want to stay away from. But somehow, in this absolutely effed up universe, I'm still facing Omnath One Ring decks, which I just... Like, Omnath is not an elemental deck, by the way, guys. People just abuse it for the team of colours and the fact it draws cards. And they're still using One Ring. So if I'm still facing that, it's just such a bizarre ecosystem I'm in. I don't know what to think. It's just a weird... But yeah, in summation, Pia Nalaar has no synergy. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't win the game by itself. It doesn't really win the game with the vehicles. It doesn't really win the game with small aggro things because you just keep facing people who use board wipes all the time. So good luck. And I guess if you want more optimism and fun, please check out my other huge range of videos, over 620. You are bound to find something awesome. Go and check it out now. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.